Hello, it's Swami Pranava. In this video, I'm talking about learning a foreign language, and I'm focusing on paper-based learning. So the reason I'm making this video is I think a lot of people watch my videos on their phone, and then they expect that I'm making content for them, especially people who are learning English. And like I say, the people who I'm really helping the most are the Vietnamese people here in Vietnam at the spiritual community, Shivananda Yoga. But the problem is, if you just use your phone, it's very hard for you to get the useful pieces of the language. So you really need to do paper-based learning. And this is something that the great teacher Luca Lampariello talks about in his courses. He says, really, your learning needs to be paper-based. That means you need to have a notebook, you need to use a pen to write down things, and many times you need to print a transcript. If it's like a video or a podcast, you need to print a transcript, and then you need to also translate that into your native language, and so you can print that out as well, and then you can compare one transcript with the translation, and you can make notes. And Luca recommends you use a pencil, which I think is very helpful. You use a pencil so that you can erase, okay? And then you have a document that you can put away. So this is called paper-based learning. And Luca is a big supporter of that idea, even though he's very good with computers, and he can tell you a lot of different ways that you can use the computers to get translations and subtitles, the meanings of words. There's many uses for computers, obviously, in learning languages these days. So we can still use the computers, but we also need to have the notebook, the pen, the pencil, the printout of the transcript, the printout of the translation. Okay, so that's one thing. And then what we want to focus on is we want to print a transcript in what Luca calls L2. L2 is language 2, and that means the target language. So if you're a Vietnamese person learning English, that would be English. Okay, so you need to print out in English, so that's what I am talking about when I say the transcript. For YouTube videos, this is very easy nowadays. Most of you probably know. Below the video, there's a description box, and then it usually has the word more, or in Vietnamese it says tem, and then you click on tem, click on more, and it's going to bring up another page, and then you scroll down and there'll be a button that says show transcript, and that will show you the transcript with time stamps. So that's very useful. You can read along with the video, but then what I normally do is I toggle the timestamps, right, which means you turn them off so they are not there, and then you highlight the text and you copy it. Then you paste it into a Google Doc and you can print the Google Doc. And of course, in the Google Doc, you can take off the line breaks so that the text can wrap properly. Okay, so there's a few little things like that that you can learn to do, but then you print it out. Okay, so that's one thing, print out L2. And then the second thing is, get a translation in L1, so you can put it into a machine translator. When we say machine translator, we mean like Google Translate, and there are a few other programs like that. I use Google Translate. And you can print that out. And then one last thing, the third thing that I wanted to mention, is when you do the bidirectional translation, then you use a notebook, you see, to write down the translation in L1. In your case, it would be in Vietnamese. You read the English, listen to the English, and then at some point you translate it into Vietnamese. and then you come back maybe the next day or so, and then you read it in Vietnamese and you translate it back to English. So again, this is paper-based. This is using a notebook and a pen to write it down, and there's the main idea, which is you are using your native language as a support to learn the target language. And so Luca even calls the language that you know already, he calls it the support language. And the language you were learning is the target language. And this is a key theme that Luca uses at the beginner level for the bidirectional translation, and then also at the intermediate level when he does work with more extensive material, longer podcasts and videos, that kind of thing. Then he uses the idea of supporting your learning with your native language or with a language you know well. So he calls that the support language. Okay, so just a few things to think about. So I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.